Joseph Schuman.
Look at him run up there. It's not wearing socks.
Dr. Cummings, Board of Ed, faculty, family, and class of 2012, welcome and congratulations. My name is Joe Schuman, and I'm given the task of delivering the commencement address as the senior class president here at Conard. In preparation for such a task, I read a list of things not to do in a graduation speech. I find, however, that I've done almost everything I was instructed not to do. The first piece of advice was to keep it short. Lamentably, this is going to be the longest, most boring speech of all time on this painfully hot and humid day. My apologies. The second plea was, by all means, do not start with a quote. So again, with my apologies, here's my opening quote. It reads, "Go into the world and do well. But more importantly, go into the world and do good." The colloquial difference between the words well and good is often misunderstood. But to do well in the context of this quote means to have success, financially, socially, etc. While to do good, is to live in the name of ethics, to follow one's moral compass, to do what is ambiguously predicated as right. To do well is what our high school teachers have taught us. To do good is what we learned in elementary school. This is not to say that in high school we did not learn these ubiquitous life lessons, for we did. But rather, the emphasis of our education has shifted from simple right and wrong to more complex and specific areas. I was reading Time magazine a few days ago and could not help noticing the incredibly depressing titles for all the news bulletins of the week. While most of these problems could be solved with money or power, people who have done well in their lives, undoubtedly all of the issues broadcasted by Time magazine, and further, all the issues of all time, can be solved by doing good. Despite all the odds, if we are all kind, charitable, trusting, inclusive, if we all try to do good as we learned it in kindergarten, then we have created a very real impact on the world here today. The next item on the list of things not to do in a graduation speech was do not talk about a subject in which you lack expertise. For this part, I tried to stick to the guidelines. The sciences are a strength of mine and are only meant to govern physical relationships. But at times, their concrete lessons can also hold true in human behavior. There is an equation in physics related to electricity where force F equals E times Q. And I've brought a sign to help because this part gets a little confusing. Need to find it.
Yeah, Joe?
Here we go.
Yeah!
E times Q, everybody. Okay, so in physics, the F stands for force, and this has to do with electricity, where E essentially stands for the charge of the surrounding environment, and Q stands for the strength of a single point charge.
Physics teacher.
So if you apply this to human behavior, our force as a class is contingent upon our surrounding environment times our individual charge. And arguably, the strength of our surrounding environment, our E, our field, has to do with how well we treat one another and our capacity for good. Conversely, our individual charge, Q, has to do with a healthy self-interest, which is founded upon doing well with our lives. So just as F equals E times Q in physics, force equals individual wellness multiplied by group goodness. And through the means of doing well or doing good, our force increases in its capacity to better the world. I hope I haven't bored you too much, but at least I warned you in advance. And I hope you're not sweating as much as I am. I'm almost done. And if I can add one last thing, some great author that I forgot his name once said, "Your families are extremely proud of you. this would be a great time to ask for money. Thank you and congratulations.
Yeah, Joe. There's
Way
the
to
tall
go,
mom.
Joe!
Before we hear from another speaker, I do want to point out that we do have